Yo, what's going on everybody? Swagkage here, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking about the Art of the Puppet Master, the C-rank Bukijutsu ninjutsu hybrid used by Kankuro, Sasori, Chiyo, and others like them to control puppets with artificial threads created from chakra. So as you can tell by how long that summary was, this is a very complex jutsu, but that said, it's pretty easy to explain. The fundamentals are easy to infer on your own. A person conjures chakra threads, attaches them to their puppet, and then controls that puppet, or multiple puppets if they so choose, with a series of movements performed with their arms and fingers. What's more complicated than how a puppet master interacts with their puppets through these chakra threads is how the chakra threads themselves work. Now this first bit should go without saying, but these are threads constructed from highly concentrated chakra made apparent by the fact that they are visible to the naked eye. While they will be visible to pretty much everybody, including people who don't have access to dojutsu like the Byakugan, Rinnegan, or Sharingan, it is possible for the person who conjured them to temporarily make these threads invisible by suppressing the chakra used to create them, though this presumably comes at the cost of some of the thread's density and effectiveness. Now, while chakra threads are used in most cases exclusively for the purpose of controlling puppets, they are capable of doing quite a bit more than that. For example, upon his introduction, Kankuro used one of his to trip Naruto during the meeting between Team Baki and Team Kakashi before the Chunin exams, but what's even better is that chakra threads can be attached to more than just puppets and are capable of moving any object that they are connected to. Chakra thread use can effectively be viewed as a handicapped version of telekinesis that allows a person to remotely move or in some cases even outright control other people and objects. Granted, the chakra threads aren't incredibly powerful and aren't capable of lifting anything ludicrous, but picking up and throwing kunai or other small weapons is definitely possible. Though I guess the fact that these threads can be applied this way shouldn't be surprising because, like I just mentioned, they are solid due to their incredibly high density. Now, what's even more impressive than this is that a puppet master with enough skill is also capable of controlling not only corpses, but also living humans, though I'm sure it's pretty obvious that the latter is quite a bit more difficult. Typically, corpses are only used by puppet masters when their puppets have been destroyed and they have no other offensive or defensive options, but controlling living bodies is a different matter entirely, and the use for doing so could potentially vary on a case-by-case basis. The only actual on-screen or on-panel example of this being done is when Chiyo used her chakra threads to control Sakura's movements in the battle against Sasori, which took full advantage of Sakura's overwhelming speed and offensive power. The third data book clarifies that, unsurprisingly, for this to be done, it requires the consent of the person being controlled, though it's made clear in the Fourth Great Ninja War that if a puppet master is ridiculously skilled, they can control living people as puppets against their will, as long as they are substantially weaker than them. Of course, as made evident by the fact that most puppet masters control puppets instead of people, there are many disadvantages to doing this. For starters, it requires at least 5 chakra threads to control a human body, 1 for the head, 2 for the arms, and 2 for the legs, which is pretty noteworthy considering most people can only create 10 chakra threads, 1 from each finger. Granted, there are plenty of puppets that require just as many threads to be controlled properly, but they have an advantage that humans, living or dead, do not, and that is their artificial bodies and their inherent customizability. Unlike an organic human body, the body of a puppet can be built with contraptions that, when activated, can do things such as fire a poison-tipped knife at an enemy, or release a series of bombs at a specified location on the battlefield, and most well-made puppets are capable of doing things of this nature and then some. Most of these mechanisms are connected to a dedicated chakra thread that, when pulled, activates them, though it's also possible for a puppet master to transmit their chakra through one of these threads and cause a chain reaction, causing the mechanism to be activated without being pulled or triggered by any external force. Now, while most puppets need around 4 or 5 chakra threads to be used to their fullest potential, there are a handful of different kinds of puppets that have been shown working when only connected by 1 chakra thread. The 10 puppets of Chikamatsu, puppets created by Monzaimon Chikamatsu, the first user of the puppet master fighting style, are one such group of puppets, as all 10 of them could be controlled at once when just using 1 thread per finger. The 100 puppets deployed in Sasori's secret red technique, performance of 100 puppets jutsu, are all also examples of puppets that can be controlled with just 1 thread, though in Sasori's case, since he obviously doesn't have 100 fingers, he could only do this by releasing the 100 threads of chakra that he keeps stored in the core of his puppet body. Now, while being a puppet master does come with many advantages, it also obviously has many drawbacks due to being such an unorthodox fighting style. For one, since most puppet masters spend most of their lives learning how to master the art, they themselves are not very proficient in ninjutsu, taijutsu, or genjutsu, leaving them very susceptible to danger if they are ever in a situation where they cannot use their puppets, and as noted by Shino in his battle against Kankuro, also putting them at a very heavy disadvantage against long-range fighters. Furthermore, if the joints or other vital parts of a puppet are damaged or sabotaged, they are effectively turned into nothing more than gigantic paperweights. Once again, Shino demonstrated this in his battle with Kankuro when he used his bugs to eat away at the puppet's insides and immobilize it. Also, in most cases, a puppet master will struggle to fight against anybody who is extraordinarily fast because of the inherent input lag associated with the fighting style. It takes time for the movements of a puppet master to translate into the movement of the puppet itself, though Sasori has managed to overcome this by connecting most of the puppet's heat controls to his core. Anyway, there is a bit more to this fighting style, but that's on a person-by-person basis, and really just comes down to the differences between individual puppets used by the various puppet masters throughout the series. So, with that said, I think this is where I'm going to end today's video off, but if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, along with any ideas for future video topics you want me to cover, and though I am only one person, I'll do my best to read through all of the comments and get to everybody that I can. Anyway, thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, talk to you later. Swagkage out. Bye.